Hey everybody, this is the second video in a series I'm going to do on my departure from religious thought. And, I want to clear a couple of things up from my last video because I had a lot of comments, and I do appreciate all the comments and engagement with it. One thing is, I'm not trying to be persuaded one way or another with my beliefs. I think maybe I was a little ambiguous about that. I'm pretty sure I believe what I believe based on the evidence I've seen, but I am willing to get more evidence and understand new things. So, I know that the people that have come to me with their religious viewpoints are doing it from a place of love and kindness. I've been religious, so I can totally relate. I know that it's not some kind of a judgment or anything like that, and I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the engagement, and I want everybody to take part in the discussion because I'm not about shutting people up. I think that we can really only come to a proper understanding of things. The more information leads to better understanding. And you should be really suspicious of belief systems or influences that try to limit what you can see and think about and understand. So that being said, this is the second part of the video series I want to do. And this one is the beginning of hard questions for people who believe in the Bible. I think I'm going to start the list with why it is there always have to be death and spilling of blood for transgression. It seems like an all-loving, all-kind God, to me, would be more interested in helping people understand their errors and the damage that it causes from their, transgressions or whatever. Maybe it's supposed to be to emphasize the seriousness of these things or whatever. I'm not real sure. I know there's a lot of circular logic when it comes to the Bible, where the Bible says this, so it must be true. The Bible even says in Isaiah, it says something along the lines of, if they don't speak according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. So I don't feel like there's no light in me more than anybody else. I feel like I'm a good person, a loving, kind person as much as anybody is, and certainly not evil, in my opinion. Cool magnolia blossom. Anyway, so yeah, that's, why does there always have to be death and killing for oppositional thoughts? So I think that's a problem. That's a major thing that, in my opinion, religion causes damage. It divides, and it causes people not to look at other people as individual beings with their own thoughts. And I think one of the main ways that we see that in action these days is people's attitudes towards homosexuality. The Bible explicitly forbids it, and in the Bible, God commanded the Israelites to do away with those that were of those persuasions. So that's a very disturbing viewpoint. I'm trying not to make this video too long. I try to make this video and it'll be like 12-13 minutes long, so I'm gonna just maybe do this in bite sizes. Another thing is, why does everything have to be in symbols, especially prophecies? Because prophecy is used so much to emphasize the validity, and that's been something that's been a hang-up for me, because there are things in prophecies that seem to line up to exact dates, and even contextually seems to be. I've even written papers in my own church where it seemed like these dates were exactly like to the day and like uncanny, But that really doesn't prove anything, especially when you're dealing with things in a symbolic context. The brain has a way of modeling and fitting facts into, kind of fit what you already kind of want to believe, or the understanding that you think you're getting. Which leads me to my next point. Why does God always use prophets? Why is it always a prophet? It's always some dude, and almost never a woman, but in the case of Ellen G. White, maybe in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, maybe you could say a woman. But it's always somebody, some human being that has granted some divine revelation from God. Why can't God come down himself and say, hey, it's like this or it's like that? I think that's a big question, and it's one that people kind of sidestep. And I'm really not interested in a lot of the circular logic. I know the Bible pretty well. We can discuss it all you want, but I feel like there's a lot of circular logic, like in the Bible, where you say, well, it must be true because the Bible said that. Well, because Adam and Eve were created in such and such or whatever. And it's like, that's fine, but I'd like some facts. I would like some true understanding, things that can be, you know, tested and reproduced and that type of thing. One of the things I think is a problem with creationism in general is the idea that things have an essential nature. Say like this tree is like supposed to be what a tree is, but what about this tree, you know, or what about these other trees or these bushes? Like, they all came from the same place, right? We know that genetically and everything. Like, all life on the planet came from the same place. So you could say that was God, I guess, if you wanted to argue it, but you can't say that things are less pure or less good because they're diversifying. And I think that's been a major thing that racist ideologies have seized upon, and even sexist, and who knows how many other type of discriminatory practices have been based on these types of things. So this video is already about 6 minutes long, so I think I'm going to wrap it up with that. I appreciate all the engagement. Please be kind to each other with the way we discuss these things in video responses or comments. Let's not attack each other. Let's try to get to truth. I mean, let's have an honest discussion. You know, if you're religious, then, you know, do what God would want you to do according to your beliefs. So be kind and be gentle and loving, and listen. You know, I'm going to listen to the things that I hear, and I really do appreciate everybody's engagement. I'm going to make a bunch of these videos. It's my plan, at least, and you know, I'm not going to say God willing. But anyway, thanks y'all. Feel free to do video responses or comments or whatever, and thanks to everybody that's been engaged, especially my family and friends that have been concerned for the salvation of my soul, because I do know you're coming from a good place. But there's nothing wrong with my soul, because I don't have a soul beyond this life that I have, and that's my opinion. Unfortunately, I spent so much of it concerned with things that don't matter, that are not real, in my opinion, and I wish I hadn't. I wish people had challenged me the way I want to challenge some others to think about their beliefs. Hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.